guys, it's Nancy here, and I just wanted to say a little bit before I go into this process video. At the moment, I am loving what I am calling micro clusters, which are like these small photos with tiny, like lots of little layers and embellishments and stuff around. I didn't do a process video for this one. This is using that Like Forever kit, and so it's mainly the Pebbles Cedar Lane, is it called? I want to say Cedar Lane. Yes, it is Cedar Lane. And so I made this one last week. I think it was like the day after I got the kit. And I hadn't shared it, so I thought this is one way just to share it. But I'm also going to work on doing some kind of more microing clusters. I have an assortment of odd shaped photos here that I want to scrap. So just wanted to come in and share that with you. I'm absolutely loving this Cedar Lane collection. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you and kind of give a little bit of an explanation as to why I'm going to be doing lots of tiny bits, because it's a little bit of a step away from what I normally do, but I'm okay with that. I think it's good to kind of try new things and different trends and different stuff. So that is what I'm planning on doing. I have already cut up absolutely loads of bits and pieces here, which I'm going to be using. I just sat in front of the telly with my parents chatting the other night while I was cutting them out. I still do have a little bit if I do want to cut out anymore. So that is my plan. I'm now going to go into process video, but I just wanted to share this layout with you and also talk a little bit about my new love for micro clusters. So thank you very much, guys, and I will now cut to the video. Bye! Hey guys, so into the process video. I have pulled out this piece of Dear Lizzie paper from my stash, and I'm going to be using that in with this other collections of the Cedar Lane. I just really want to bring the navy blue in as kind of a neutral, so I thought that I would add that in. And what I am going to be doing is my routine of cutting down the background paper ready to mount it on. It's just what I do, it's how I start out most layouts. I am going to then be using that background paper to layer on there, and I was in a bit of a quandary whether to use the grey or the pink, but I do end up going with the pink. I want to do something circular, so I tried to look around my desk to see if I had anything circular, and I didn't really. So I end up just taking my pencil and just kind of drawing a circle in the background, and then working out if I want to use 4 photos or 3. I decided to use 3 because, you know, it just works better with the kind of visual triangle-y thing. And I'm going to be doing this, which is my new love. It's my new way of using mists, which is to use the sprayer sort of stalk bit to kind of draw with and scribble with. I've done it on a few videos in the past. I think the first time I done it was on the Back to the Future layout that I done with my boyfriend, and I don't know, I really like this technique, and as I said, I have used it quite a bit in recent videos, so you will be seeing it. But as you all know, if you've watched my videos, I do love to add texture in the background, which I think helps sort of create movement and kind of just a bit of interest to the layout, but doesn't add dimension. So I did just zoom in here so you could see in a bit more detail what I am doing, and so I'm literally just taking the end of the sprayer and going around, and I'm using a mixture of dilutions, some Ducraft inks, which is this lovely kind of hematite colour, and I've also used, say, the bright pink, and I'm also then going to use some gold, and that is just to create some kind of movement in this circular, kind of almost like a wreath even. And I'm then taking out my tags, which I keep all my roller stamps on, and I'm trying to look for some phrases that I can then add, and again, this is something that I do a lot to create texture in the background, just using my stamps. And as I've said in previous videos, I want to use my stamps more, and so that is something that I want to do. I've toyed about with different storage solutions for my stamps to use them more, but I don't think it's helped at all. So I'm just taking, I believe this is the Chamel, I think this is a Chamel stamp, roller stamp, and I'm just using that with my black ink to stamp in the background. And I think one says go somewhere lovely, I think that's what this one said, and again just building up some texture in that background. And then I believe I also stamp another phrase which I think is party all night. And as I said, I'm going to be scrapping 3 smaller photos here, and they are sort of recent outfit that I wore when I went out with my boyfriend to for our anniversary dinner, but also kind of like I love autumn, and kind of like, you know, the layers and the stuff, and I've got these new boots that I love, and I really just want to document like this outfit that I've probably kind of overworn a bit. Does anyone do that? Like, get an outfit that they wear and then like love it so much they just wear it to death, like that combination. So, as I said, my photos are a little bit random sizes, so I've just mounted some on that Dear Lizzie paper, and I'm then using this American Crafts wood grain paper, and again to just bring in some darker brown, and I'm just double mounting all of those photos. And I said one of those is of my knees and boots, one of them is like my hair and makeup, and one of them is just in the dress that I wore. So yeah, I like documenting myself and like outfits and stuff that I like to wear. So I've then taken another piece of the scrap, sort of had an off sort of bit, and I've just used that, and I'm just inking again everything up in the black, because I did use the black to stamp in the background. And I don't always ink my edges, I'm kind of more in a phase of inking edges at the moment. I think it all just depends if you want your layers to look more defined or not. As I said, it's just really a phase I'm going for at the moment, and that's what I'm loving. So just inked everything up, and now I'm going to start building up those layers. And I do apologise that I'm out of frame for some of this, but I do zoom out. So I'm just going to dry that with my heat gun, and then I have then zoomed out. So you can see I'm going to be placing my 4 photos kind of in this visual triangle, and then I'm taking some of these bits that I've cut out, and especially these larger blooms, because that's what I want to use to kind of ground my photos. And again, I wanted to use them in the direction of kind of the circle to help add movement to the layout. And so that's kind of what I wanted with that background piece, which is to add movement and kind of almost just draw the eye around all of the little different pictures. I mean, I think the pictures are 2x3, I think, because yeah, I printed 4 out on a 4x6. So, and then that other one, because it's a shot in a mirror, it's not necessarily the best shot, and I think it worked out about like, I think it was like 3.5 or 4 by nearly 2. I don't know. It's a strange size, but I do like that. So what I'm doing is I'm just lifting up layers. I'm just tucking bits under, and I've tucked that floral in between some layers, and I'm trying to, whatever I add to one cluster, add to the others, and that's what I was talking about, like this micro sort of clustering, which I think works better with smaller photos. And I'm just trying to add the same element to each of those clusters. And this was actually a pretty quick layout to do even, and I did it in about, I think it took me about 40 minutes, which actually, because there's not too much detail really on here. I then cut some leaves out, and this was from a large piece of paper. I did cut some of those out, and again I'm just adding those in between spaces, because that is going to help to draw the eye around. So I'm just going to be inking those up and then using my wet glue just to stick them down. And as I said, I really like how that has come out. And this is what I mean, just using lots of small bits. And yes, it is really silly because I have so much paper, and I really shouldn't be cutting out like, you know, 1/2 inch tiny little bits. But, you know, it makes me happy. It's fine. I like it. So, literally just trying to keep with the circle. It's not a perfect circle, but it works. And I really like it. I like that pop of pink that I have in the background as well. So, in a bid to try and use this purple, because I do really like this purple, I want to look at adding some in, and as this is a longer photo, I do want to make sure that, you know, I build that cluster out a little bit, because my circle is looking a tiny bit lopsided. So again, where I add it to one cluster, I add it to the others, and I said that's not always necessarily in the same way, but I do add it to each of the clusters. And as you'll see, I also used a fishtail banner there on a couple, because I do love my banners. So now I'm going in with the smaller florals that I cut out, and again just adding those into each of the clusters and seeing where I can get those to work. And I said that longer photo was a little bit stranger because I couldn't quite get it to work, so I did just pull out one of those larger florals. I even cut the ones that kind of go off the sheet of paper, because I'm frugal, because I don't have enough paper. I joke. And so yeah, I've just added those in, and again just using the same kind of pink florals in each one. So as I said, I love how this came together, and I don't know, I think it sounds sometimes egotistical to say when you love a layout that you've done, but yeah, I really do like this layout. And I took this piece of paper, which is a background of a pink ombre piece, which had these weird, not weird, they're just circles, but they didn't kind of really work for me, but I've just used a little scallop punch that I have, which is about 1 inch. And again, just use that to help some of those flowers pop out, because I did realise that using the pink flowers, that pink background, they weren't necessarily popping out as much as I wanted. So I did just use that circle to break it up. I am now going through the die cuts and looking at any of those I can add. So there's a couple of phrases that could work, so I've pulled those out. And again, just looking at other pieces, an arrow here that I can use. And then there's some hearts also within here. Some of them are gold, some of them are glitter dipped, so I'm going to be adding those to my clusters as well. This is what I mean just about taking all those really small elements and adding them, you know, into the clusters, and if I add it to one, I like to add it to the other clusters as well. So I don't add any word phrases to that longer picture, because I am going to put my title at the bottom of there. But again, even where I'm placing the words, it's kind of helping lead the eye around the page. So yeah, I'm just tucking everything in, and as I said, really enjoying playing around with all these lovely bits and pieces. I do pull out the sequins that were in this collection. There was also these lovely kind of like toothpick flags, so I was seeing if I could maybe add one of those in. And I'm going to place one pointing there to the bottom, which is where I'm then going to put my title. So, excuse me. So yeah, I'm just going to be sticking that title down over that bottom floral. I'm not quite sure what I was off doing there. I think it was probably just finding out my thickers. And I'm going to be using the title The Autumn Edit, and that is if in just my autumn fashion, because you know often when in fashion magazines they talk about the summer edit, the da-da-da, so that's just what I mean by that. So yes, I'm calling this one The Autumn Edit because it's, you know, focusing on my favourite bits of clothing, and the fact that I've kind of slightly changed my hair as well, put a bit more pink through my hair, but mainly I'm loving these boots. And also flashing off my knees and tattoos there, which, you know, don't come out too often. So yeah, I'm just going to be playing about where I want to place that, because I wanted to get it kind of hugging that picture, but that it didn't look too weird. So I'm just going to be using the edges and packaging there to line that up a little bit better. And so now I'm going to be just using my silicone glue to stick down that arrow, because I find with the silicone glue it just helps just pop it up a little bit, and it's kind of the easiest, least hassle way to stick it down. So I'm now going to mount this layout up on that background paper, and again I think that just helps encase everything. It kind of makes things not look, I don't know, I think it just calms it down a little bit. So I'm now going to just take some sequins, and that is the final touch I'm really going to add to this layout, as I said, and just kind of place them around. Try not to fuss too much, because we all know how long I can spend trying to make something look random, especially with sequins. So I'm just going to pop those down, and then I'm just going to use my wet glue to end up sticking them down. And I do have this sticky tool which I found while tidying up my desk, and it is actually quite useful for this, which I believe is its purpose anyway. So I'm just going to be sticking those all down, and then I'm going to call this layout done. And I really love this kind of more open style. I've done a few layouts like this recently, and I think it's something that I'm definitely going to do more of. I think it's just my style like evolving slightly, but yeah, I really like that, and I love the florals as well. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and for all your comments on recent videos and things like that, and just for liking, and watching my videos really. So thank you very much guys, and I will be back with some more videos. I think I've got another 2 videos with this collection. Bye!